All right, guys, so you could use long division on all of these questions. You could use long division on any one you want. However, synthetic division is a lot faster, a lot better. Let's take a look at number 9. That one's a little different. And to use synthetic division, you set up this situation, the box, and what goes inside the box, you have to take your divisor and pretend that it's equal to 0, and you solve it, and the answer would be 4. Right? So you're going to put 4 right inside the box. Again, a minus 4 equals 0. When you go plus 4 and plus 4, you get a equals 4. So you take that value of 4 and you put it over here inside the box. And then you have to write all your coefficients. Coefficients are the numbers that are in front of your variable terms. But you do want to represent every single variable term from highest exponent down to the smallest, down to the constant at the very end. So the first one, the highest exponent is a to the third. What variable is in front of the a to the third? 1, that's right. So you're going to put a 1 right here, okay? And then, is there an a to the second? No, so I need to put a 0 for the a to the second. Is there an a to the 1? No, so I need to put a 0 for the a to the 1. And then at the very end you have minus 64. Does that make sense? So once again, you have to think of, let me do this right here. You have to think of a to the third minus 64. You have to think of it like this. 1 a to the third plus 0 a to the second plus 0a minus 64. Right? This guy up here is the same thing as this guy down here. There is no a to the seconds. There is no a. That's why we're using zeros right in front of them. Even if you were using long division, you would still have to do that with the zeros. Okay? So going back to synthetic. So we're going to put the line right here, and we're just going to bring down the first number. In other words, 1 plus what? There's nothing there, so 1 plus nothing is 1. And then we take the 4 and go 4 times 1. That's going to give us 4. So I have a 4 right there. And then, as I go down, I combine 0 plus 4 is 4. Right? So as you go down, you combine 0 plus 4 is 4. And then you multiply again. 4 times 4 is 16. And as you go down, you combine 0 plus 16 is what? 16. And then last but not least, 4 times 16 is what? 64. Now, always on your last term, since we're dealing with the constant, this is what you should do. You should put a line right here so you could kind of get like this box area, because this box area, which in this case is 0, is your remainder. Okay? What's your answer? These 3 guys right here. And this is your remainder. So there is no remainder. You don't have to worry about putting a remainder on this thing. But what is our answer? Let me move this up a little. The answer will be, oh no, I shouldn't move it up a little. I need to look at the problem. The first term wasn't a to the third. That means that on my answer, it's going to be a 1 what? Not a to the third anymore. 1 what? A squared, right? 1 a to the second. So 1 a to the third, and then, no, I'm sorry. 1 a to the second. I messed up. 1 a to the second, thank you. Plus, because that's a positive 4a, and then plus 16. Okay? So there's my answer. I do not have a remainder. It's just a quadratic trinomial. Shugare? Let's do a couple more. Let's take a look at, pick one. 14? 14 looks crazy.
Number 7.
Pause. That was a great question. If this would have been a plus 4, then this box would have a minus 4 in it. Because it kind of breaks down like this, guys. Whatever you see here, you're going to think opposite and put it right here. But that's only when you have a nice variable a, like a minus 4. What if you had a 2a minus 4? Then you'd have to actually solve it and you get a different answer. Okay? So if you have x minus 4, it'll be a positive 4. If you have x plus 3, then over here you'll have a minus 3. It's always going to be opposite right there of what you see, but that's only when you have a single variable. But if you have like a 2x or a 3x, then you end up with fractions, and you might want to do long division instead of dealing with fractions. It's up to you. But let's take a look at 17, everybody says. All right, 17. So 17, we should know that this negative exponent is really going to tell us to bring it down. So we really have that top quartic polynomial divided by the x plus 2 with the power of 1 now. So it's really a division problem just like all the other ones. That negative exponent just means it's a division problem. So we're going to use synthetic division. So you put the box up here. And what value goes inside of that box? Negative 2. Remember, it's kind of like taking your divisor, setting it equal to 0. So if you did go x plus 2 equals 0 and you solved it, you get a negative 2 as an answer. Okay? And then you want to write the coefficients, the numbers that are in front of each term, from highest exponent down to smallest, down to the constant, representing every single term. So what's the first one? 1, because we have a 1 in front of the x to the 4th. What do we have in front of the x to the 3rd? Negative 3. Okay. What do we have in front of the x squared? What do we have in front of the x squared? 0. You guys notice that? There is no x squared. I said, what do we have in front of the x to the 4th? Yeah, we have a 1. What do we have in front of the x to the 3rd? Yeah, we have a negative 3. What do we have in front of the x squared? There is no x squared. So we need to represent that with the 0, that there is no x squared. And then you could say, okay, what do we have in front of the x? We have a 5. And what do we have in front of the, or what's a constant? It's negative 6 at the very end. Make sense? So as we come down, you just combine 1 plus 0 is 1. And you're going to go negative 2 plus 1. And what do we get? Negative 2. Correct? You write it up there. And as you come down, you combine. So negative 3 combined with negative 2. What do we get? Negative 5. Okay? And then negative 2 times negative 5. What do we get? Positive 10. And as we come down, 0 plus 10 is 10. You can put a plus sign in front just so you could remember that's positive. And then if you multiply, negative 2 times 10, what do we get? Negative 20. And as we combine the 5 and the negative 20, what do we get? Negative 15. And last but not least, negative 2 times negative 15, positive 30. Okay? And when I combine this last one, this is my remainder. Remember, what's negative 6 plus 30? 24. Now notice that I put this line right here to separate the remainder from the rest. This is my answer, and then I'm going to have to make a fraction with a 24 as a numerator. Okay? So let's go back and write our answer here. Now this would take a really long time with long division. But let's go back and write our answer. Our final answer is going to be 1x to the what? 3rd. That's right. If you started with an x to the 4th and divided by x, yeah, it'll be x to the 3rd. And then the next one will be minus 5x what? Squared. You're just going down 1 each time. And then plus 10x minus 15. Then what about that 24? You're going to go plus 24 over x plus 2, the original divisor. That came out really ugly. I apologize. Let me do that better. Plus 24 over x plus 2. That just made it worse. I'm sorry. You get it? Let's do another. Jumping to number 14. Let's do it quickly here since we already got the hang of it. Inside the box. I normally start with black. Inside the box, what do we have? Negative 2 And why is that? Because over here there's a plus 2 inside with the y, so it's going to be a minus 2 over here because y plus 2 equals 0. If you solve it, it gives you a negative 2. Now let's go for the coefficients. What's the first coefficient that we need? 6. The next one? 15. The next one? Negative 8. The next one? 0 because there is no y. Okay, and then the last one? Negative 6, the coefficient. Let's put that bar down there. And by the way, all those lines I've been drawing, you don't need to draw those lines, all right? So as the 6, I'm not going to draw any lines this time. As the 6 comes down, what do I get? 6. And then, if I go negative 2 times 6, what do I get? Negative 12. And then, if I combine 15 minus 12, 3. And then, if I go negative 2 times 3, negative 6. And if I combine the negative 8 with the negative 6, negative 14. And if I multiply negative 2 times negative 14, positive 28, thank you. And if I combine 0 and 28, 28. And last but not least, if I multiply negative 2 times 28, negative 56. And finally, check this out, put the line right here, don't forget about the line. When I combine negative 6 and negative 56, negative 62. Now this is our answer, guys. All we got to do is throw in our variables with powers on there. So we're going to have 6 y to the third plus 3 y to the second minus 14 y positive 28 plus 28. And then at the very end, we need to put that remainder. So check it out. Instead of, I could put plus negative 62 over y plus 2, but I'm going to go minus 62 over y plus 2. And ladies and gentlemen, we are done. That's our answer.